Hey everyone, I thought we'd make some clusters, decorations for a corner of a page or perhaps a pocket decoration from basic things. This stuff we have loads to deliver, so corrugated card is never in short supply in our house. Ripped up remnants of yesterday's book pages and fussy cutting. This is a sheet I printed off to, sorry, I've zoomed in a bit so you can see what I'm actually doing, but fussy cuts like this little butterfly here add a really nice focal point, in my opinion. I'm just going to switch on my glue gun in readiness. Right, I'm starting with some gel medium. What I want to achieve is a sort of look, you know when you don't rip it properly? That's come away much too easy. So I've got some, that's my gel medium, and I just want to go over the ridges. If you have bits where you think, oh, knife, and you know, like those, no, that's good, in my opinion, because it adds a layer of interest and you haven't had to do anything for it. It's like, hey. So I only need, oh, I can't get the lid back on. There we go. I only need to do two because that one I haven't done properly anyway. So I am just going to, I just want it to catch on the top, but I do need to leave it dry. Maybe we do, this is music paper from the other day, from the shabby chic stuff I was doing. So I am just going to put that on to that one. Right, interruption over. So I've just pressed these onto the ridges. I don't need it to catch everywhere. All I want is for a bit of paper to be stuck on the top. So leave that for a moment. Let those dry. Fussy cutting. I was playing around and I cut out a I'll hold it that way, a butterfly. Butterflies are great. And I thought, right, let's do some flowers. So, like I say, I've got a big sheet. If you go onto my website, there are, not this particular sheet, but there are some other sheets which are just freebies that I've put together and for various journaling things. I know there's a link to my website underneath. Right, I only want the flower heads, so I'm going to start sort of cutting around here. Now, whether you want to cut all the way to the flower or leave a white gap, if you're cutting to the shape and you find you've got a white gap, just go over it with vintage photo or whatever you use as your edging colour, because that will hide a multitude of sins. Now, when it comes to something like this, I don't go in and cut everything. I cut the outline. So life is too short to worry about lots of really fiddly bits. That's the other thing. It's always the paper you move, not the scissors. Right. Okay, maybe I could have chosen a slightly easier one. I just like the colours. get rid of that bit. There again, I find it makes, for me, there are some ladies on YouTube that I've watched, and they go into every kind of detail, and it's like, oh wow. If you just move the paper around like this, it adds a bit of texture to the edge of the page, but it's not essential. It's like everything, it comes with practice. Now, I think I probably left much too much on here, but actually it might look quite nice if it's overhanging. So I'm just going to tidy these, tidy these bits up at the bottom. To make it look like I actually have tried. There. Now, that will work for what I want. That'll work fine. That's one. That's two. This bit, they've seen me do it once. I think I will speed up and see you in a mo. Right, as you can see, I only took out part of that one because I'm thinking I'm going to put that on the corner like that. Let's get rid of these. So we have 3 centres. Now let's see if this works. Let's get rid of the bits I don't need. I'm really hoping. Oh, okay, some of it has. I can tell that most of it hasn't. So let's make it up as we go along. I think actually it still feels a bit damp. Look, yeah, it's still wet underneath. So I think a quick zap. So I will mute this bit. It's not that warm this morning. Let's see if we can... see, that's the kind of effect I wanted. See how we get on with this bit. There we go. Just not quite dry enough. I don't want it over all of it, but I do. They just look like scraps. And it just adds a bit of interest. It's fiddly, or it can be fiddly, but it can also be very therapeutic. Right. Get rid of bits. Now what I'm thinking, back to the gesso. I am going to be very lazy and use the same paintbrush. Sorry, I was looking for me tissue. You may have noticed I actually really like gesso. All I want to do is to create a simple one, and ones that most people can do. If you haven't got gesso, the watered down white acrylic paint will also do the job. It's just sometimes gesso is cheaper because it's not as high a quality. So I want to leave, oops. So I want to leave some of the cardboard showing, but I also want to add a contrast. And where are we going to go on this one? Up here perhaps. Okay. And let's go for there. All I'm doing is just adding areas of contrast. So you've got some light bits, some dark bits, and then obviously some of the cardboard showing. Right, those are done. Let's clean that off before I get it. Now, I am going to have to dry these again, so bear with me. All over my fingers. And then it's a question of deciding which way around you want them to go. Okay, right. Basic forms, basic shapes. We could have, I keep a book. You've all seen this. Let me zoom out so you can see it. It's just a, as it says, A5 presentation. And I keep all the bits that I've painted, scraps, so I can see exactly, well, most of the time. So we could make it as easy as, these are a stamp set that I've got. So, see, that's too big, but we can cut them down. I've got lots of these. Yeah, I've never really known what to do with these things. These little cards you get at the back of the Tim Holtz things. So, okay, I could use a picture in that one. I quite like the picture in that one. Or we have trusty gauze, of course. Actually, I think that will be too big. Even if I cut that down, that's going to be too big. And of course, we have string. So first things first, I am just going to go and distress edges. So I'm taking off the white I've put on. Or the other way of looking at it is I'm adding an extra layer. Layers add interest in my brain. Yeah, okay, I like that. Don't you hate it when your sponge falls apart? That way, that way, that way, I think. Yep, that's the way we'll go. So I also have my, oops, let me get rid of those. I have a book of fussy cuts or bits that I like. I have somewhere, you see, you could add a ticket. That's a bigger one. That might be better. So we could add a label. That's that one. No, those will be too big. Oh, I don't know. I'll keep that one out as a just in case. No, nothing else in there, I don't think. I think that one's going to be too big, unless I was to cut it in half. Let's cut out. Right. That one has more of a picture on it. Big scissors, because I'm not fussy cutting really. And if I was brave enough, I'd probably just try and rip it, but the stuff's a bit thick. I want to, if I can, break up the bottom. That's that one. Actually, this bird is, I like that bird. I'm going to leave an outline on him. See, this is where big scissors don't work, because your fingers get in the way. I might leave that bit on the bottom and cut round. Come on, there we go, round the corner. I like that bird actually. Do you know, I don't even know if that needs, I could go on the white one, couldn't it? That one's got some white left on it. Right, where are we going? I love this stuff, you can just stretch it into shape. I do want that one hanging over the edge. What are we going to put on this one? Normal ball of string. Right, if I zoom in you can see them a bit better. So I'm going to make just a loose circle with a string. Maybe we have a tag on the bottom. Okay, my string is much too big, so rid of that piece. The only reason I'm putting them down is because if I do, see, I think that one then, let's just go around this. Depending on how dimensional you want this, let's make some space. You could pop him up on a little tag. So, actually I think instead of one of those, because glue adds dimension, so if I can put that on. Okay, let's have him facing the other way. So if I don't squash it down, it adds dimension anyway. Right, I'll get rid of the glue strings after. That's a nice simple one. I'm going to leave this white as a contrast. But I'm thinking, oops, I'm wondering actually, do you know what, that's going to be too dark. Let's just go around the edges as best as I can anyway. Let's have a look at one of these tickets. I wonder. Oh, no, I actually like that. So we'll go for that one. That hasn't quite gone as I wanted it to. That's better. Right, I've not tried this bit before, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, that was better than I was thinking. I didn't go around the edge of that one. So, 2 little clusters. No, that is miles too big. So what else have we got to make? We've got like a little card thing on here. And we could use so this then becomes like a mini collage. So that flower is going to be too big on there, so maybe we don't have flowers. We've got some stamping at the bottom of that one. Oh. I wonder if that would fit at the back. Oh yeah. Okay, right. Change of plan. This one's going at the back. I do want them to overhang a bit. And then I'm thinking, I like that one over there. Let's try some proper glue. Sometimes it's just playing around with them that gets you the best results. Okay, proper glue's okay, but it's going to need to be held, I think, to make it stick on the cardboard. Oops. My glue's alive. So let's put in, I don't want to hide all the flowers, but I do. So we have a hint of a flower. And this one I think will need, that was a little bit too much. And that one can go in there. Oh, don't you just love it when a plan completely changes? Wonderful. So I like that one. I like that one. That one's a bit plain, but on the other hand, it is. No. I'm sure that does need something else, but for the life of me at the moment, I'm not 100% sure what. Right, I'm just going to zoom in so you can have a look. There we go. Just using up bits and perhaps sometimes thinking outside the box. Right, that's that one done. I will speak to you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.